Caitlyn and Kale again here. What we saw from them before. Last ban, quite likely going to be that Twisted Fate against Ambition, and they are sticking to their guns. Shen banned out though by Blaze. Do not want to give that to Templar this time around. They did it in the first game, and it went a little bit wrong, to say the least. But they've also taken away that Thresh from Mad Life and Xin Xiao, who was allowed in the first game.
Yeah, did manage to make it through. This time around, we are going to see CJ Entus Frost locking in that Ezreal first. It's something that we see out of the blue team sort of going, well, look, let's see how the red team's going to react, because they get that very, very last pick. It allows the red team to counter-pick one of the lanes very, very heavily. So as a blue team, if you pick your support, your jungler, or in this case, your AD carry, you don't reveal anything. Helios does want his Vi, though.
Another Vi, another Kha'Zix, another Ezreal again. The theme of this series so far, these champions are definitely recurring. Same picks, same bans. I don't know, what works, I guess.
Yeah, we had Ambition playing Kha'Zix in the semi-finals when Ocelot was sitting here at the desk, and he kept saying while we were in the game, he was so impressed at the way Ambition were playing. He wasn't necessarily in all the fights. It was a lot of 4v5 engages or 4v whatever engages. Ambition wasn't there. He was either farming mid lane, or he was roaming around the map. He just went MIA, just went missing. And that's enough that their opponents were just spending the whole time, SK Telecom was just spending the whole time, he could be here. He might show up. Don't take this fight. Don't go too deep. Be a little bit safe, because the Kha'Zix could suddenly leap out of nowhere, get a couple of resets, and snowball hard. So he actually started the game at like 1-3, 0-2, but he just kept farming, getting stronger and stronger, and then finally when they were happy with it, they were ready with it, SK Telecom had played so safe, so backwards for quite a while that they hadn't managed to capitalize on his weak moments, and then he came back in incredibly strong and rolled straight over them. So we'll have to see how he plays as Kha'Zix this time.
Well, we didn't see Singed banned, and lo and behold, Shy will be back on Singed in this game.
And we have a Volibear as well, so I know D-Man is going to have to get out his flippity-floppity, clippity-cloppity references with all of the flings coming through. Thresh has unfortunately been banned out. We have seen compositions in the past from other teams not here at the World Championships running Volibear, Singed, and Thresh simultaneously. And when you think about all of the flips and the pullbacks, it is a very, very awesome combination. I would love to see a Blitzcrank in there, but I don't think it's going to be picked. You know, it's possible.
You will be lacking a little bit of damage.
Correct. So I don't think it's there, but it's something that as a spectator we'd like to see. Lulu is still on the table, so we'll see if Lust Boy is going to secure that Lulu once again. It is his go-to support, but we know that Urgot is available as well. So we actually seen Woong hovering over Urgot in the opening moments of the previous game, but did decide to swap it out. Elise and Sona locked in for Blaze.
Only the AD carry left for Blaze. Curious to see who they're going to pick. Who's the best with Sona? Oh, hovering on Lux. Again, Frost.
His Fortune's still open there for Blaze. It could be something along those lines. That's strong early game that could poke damage in the early lane phase. Also could be looking for something a little bit more anti-Singed based if they're going to lane swap it, try and shut Shy down very early on in that lane.
You know who's anti-Singed? Tristana, bro. Boom, R. Healing reduction as well. Healing reduction, yeah.
It's possible.
It's definitely a possibility. I mean, it can work. It's also
we have seen Captain Jack play it.
Correct, and it is also part of the reason the Misfortune is so powerful with her impure shots, and the W reduces all of the healing, which is definitely going to counteract the passive coming out of Volibear, as well as the ultimate coming out of Singed. Lulu does look like it's going to be secured this time around for Mad Life, so it's not going to be Lust Boy, of course, because he's going to be playing Sona. And in game number 1, we did see Captain Jack running Twitch. So, you know, in this series already, he's had Twitch, he's had Ezreal. The question is now, who does he feel will counter the Volibear Singed Lux combination?
It's bated breath.
It's a possibility, and I think it could actually work as well. The rocket jump will get you out of the glitter lancers and out of the light bindings as well.
It would be quite a nice reset comp, to be completely honest, with the leaps on Tristana, with the leaps on Kha'Zix. You then have that knockback, which if you're getting charged that down a tiny little alleyway like they were in the last game, Tristana knockback, sending everyone away. You got Volibear charging it, you got Singed charging it, you had knockback, getting rid of both of them. It's not too bad at all, and the fact that you can stay at such long range means you're not going to get picked off too much by rapid stuff. But then again, Kog'Maw has that range too.
Kog'Maw's okay too.
Now Kog'Maw to me is always a risky pick, because there's not a huge amount of protection here for Kog'Maw, and I'm always afraid, especially when you've got a Volibear, when you've got a Singed that can jump in. It's Tristana! Booyah, Kasha! This is awesome. The hype, the ramp up, I tell you something, I was panicking for a second that I thought it was not going to get picked. And I think, Jared, you willed it. Your simple rah-rah, bad romance power just
mad romance with Captain Jack.
I may have begged him on hands and knees before the game.
Oh dear, but switches are in. Shy does have his Singed in. He's going with a teleport ghost this time, so nothing too crazy. Going for a bit more of a teamwork comp. That teleport so powerful when you've got full communication, when you've got all 5 members in the same community. Voice comms, that's what we're going for.
I like that one. I like that one indeed. And yeah, Tristana is there, man.
She's there.
Grand final of the Intel Extreme Masters World Championships. Your favorite champion, the little yordle.
I love it. I love it. All right, well, the game's counting down. We're almost in there. Quickly go to Facebook, vote for the MVP. Still an hour left, maybe. And we're going to throw it over to the casters, the wonderful partners in everything they do, Lee D-Man Smith and Joe Miller. Let's have a blast.
Thanks a lot, Jarrett. So, some interesting picks, team. We've got double flippity-floppities coming out from Frost.
There's a lot as well. There's an assault and battery to knock them up. There's all sorts of abilities to throw each other around the map. And let's see how it happens. And just the picture, the face, it's almost like you with bananas when we saw Jarrett Kale's eyes light up as Tristana gets locked in. Definitely some interesting choices here. We haven't seen a great deal of Tristana throughout this tournament, but definitely a champion to choose from. And obviously now we do see the double flips. It makes sense that they did go for Ezreal there. Ezreal being the first pick, I mean, Wound taken away, but it also made sense for the fact that, you know, he's got that escape in there. We did also see Ezreal was first picked by Blaze in the last match, so it's definitely a champion that both of these teams value very highly.
Yeah.
Let's see how it works out. If you've just joined us, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know where the heck you've been. Maybe you just woke up. Who knows? I know America are starting to join us. Frost is the blue team. They won the first game in really very quick fashion. 20 minutes was the match before the surrender vote came in. Blaze, though, just came through and picked up the second match of the game on the blue side. So both blue sides winning out so far. This time Ambition are on the red side. Will the trend continue?
Well, we're going to be finding out here shortly as Rapid Star headed up towards the jungle.
Well,
sticks his E in there and says, well, I spot you all. Obviously, skilled that early on here, so they've got no light binding, which for me says that they're probably not going to end up invading.
Yeah, they're not going to invade. He just simply did it for vision to get that ward down. Ward did get cleared out in the end, but he actually forced out a ping ward from Lustboy, so they wanted to keep protection, make sure there was no vision on that. It does also mean that there's no ping ward available for Lustboy when they do come into lane phase, which is what they're doing. You can see they're going to come up there. Tribush, of course, warded up there. They have no way of clearing it out this time.
Yeah, no way of this one being taken away.
Wow.
What are we going to be seeing, though? This
Mad
is
Life.
an interesting little move.
Mad Life starting with Fortitude Potion.
They're going to go for something funky here. They want this early first blood by the looks of it. Let's see if they're going to get gifted that. We're going to be joining them in that top side. Question is, will Elise fall for it?
3 members stacking up. Let's see whether they do go into it. Like you say, whether Elise is going to fall for it. They're going to switch those lanes around, but it does mean that Helios and Flame both going to take away the golems, and actually it's going to be a long time before he gets the lane because they're going in towards that red buff, so he's going to pick that up and he's getting a lot of the assistance. I wonder if they're actually maybe thinking of giving the red across to him. No, it's Flame simply leashing it out. He's going to walk through the ward now. Now they know he's coming. Wound, Mad Life and Shy, they've invested a lot of time in towards this one. They are going to have a root ability, but Flame is already going to be cautious, and he hits the ghost. He gets flopped straight in there, and it's going to be Flame surely going down. First blood to Shy.
First blood on the Singe. Brilliant trap set up there. And from Flame's point of view, he probably just thought, well, they're helping out in the jungle. They're just helping jungle get the start that they want. But they'd set up that 3-man trap in the top lane. Brilliant start here for Frost. It's not quite the 4 kills that we saw in game number 1. But, well, it's a brilliant start for them nonetheless. We'll see how this game now all goes around. Obviously, we did see Singe going back home, picked himself up the Mana Crystal, and he's going to be headed into that bottom lane 2v1. Helios has just finished off his blue, and we've seen the same for Volibear, so we may see them getting a bit involved in this bottom lane, but the top lane, Woong and Mad Life have already done a lot of damage to this turret.
Yeah, and well, I mean, while they did get the kill, they invested a lot in that kill. They used 3 summoner spells across the entire team, and here comes Cloud Templar. The flip is back on again, but it doesn't matter. Rapid Star's going to go down in the mid lane. It's Helios that got him. Meanwhile, at the top there, you can see Flame. He gets flipped around. Cloud Templar picks up the kill. They're going to take the first turret down in 3:30. Standard.
Standard stuff. Yeah, and that's right, as you said, is definitely going to be gone down in this wave. Volibear did just back away from that one, but at least not having a good time of it so far. Getting caught out there at level 1, getting ganked as well from Volibear. That standard 3-man gank that we see time and time and time and time again, and people still keep getting caught out with it. So have a look at this bottom lane. Obviously, Shy did pick up first blood. As I said, that got him the mana crystal. He's going to have to just farm underneath the tower this time.
Big problem is that he's not managed to take the poison. He's only took the flip, remember, start off. So now he's finally got the poison, so he can try and keep the pressure at bay. So he's not been able to pick up any farm. He's only got that one farm. He did get the mana crystal, though, early on, and now finally he can put some damage down. You can see he's having to flip all the minions, make sure the turret doesn't take too many of them away. He's going to start getting the experience as they're on this wave, though, so he'll go up to level 3, and we do see Madlife now with that Fortitude Potion running, coming in towards that bottom lane.
Yeah, going to come in here, give him a little bit of support. Ezreal, of course, will be coming down as well. I mean, Elise has also not really had that time to get ahead in the farm anyway. They're tied at 7-7, so definitely still a good thing here for Frost. And we should probably mention as well that Shy is this time running teleporters. Captain Jack takes a massive amount of damage here. Wound going to come in. He tries to jump away. Will be able to jump out of that one. He's going to stay alive for now, but Madlife is still going here onto Sona. And that's going to be the bottom lane backing away. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, Ambition going to have to try and jump. Where's the flip? There's the flip. Ambition goes down to Rapid Star.
Well, they are flying across the map right now, and Frost are starting to pick up the pace, just as Blaze did in Game 2. They're already 1,300 gold ahead, and now they're on towards the turret once again. We see Helios trying to clear out that wave. The shield comes out from Rapistar, and he keeps them at bay. But the bottom turret now pressuring. We are seeing this very aggressive push, and this is why they've been so secure. They've been taking that Ezreal, taking the Lust Boy on, taking the Lust Boy, taking the Lulu. The main Lust Boy has been securing Lulu non-stop because they can keep doing it. He's really a very strong push champion. Hell, we saw it back at MLG New York back in June, July I think it was actually, when myself and Quickshot were there casting, and that was exactly what Blaze were doing back then. So this tactic is nothing new between these teams. They know exactly what's happening, but it works so well.
Yeah, and you can see already that tower is all but down. There's Wound and Madlife taking a couple of hits here and there, but they are obviously still very, very healthy. Is Madlife going to go in? This could be dangerous. We are seeing Vi coming in from the side. There's the exhaust down onto Madlife. Doesn't have that flash anymore, of course. Just used it a second ago. Madlife is going to go down. Captain Jack picks up the kill. Shy now in trouble here as well. Flame chasing him, but you just can't chase the Singed.
Well, Ambition could have maybe tried to cut that one off, but you see Rapistar already positioned himself in such a way that he could defend it. Now we see Cloud Templar. He's going to get out towards Helios. The exhaust goes down, but the turret is on him, and he has to flash away. He's going to follow through on this one. Captain Jack's taking a turret here as well. Cloud Templar's going to follow this one through. Ezreal, good wound going to come in. He has got flash available if he goes for it. Here's the teleport from Shy. The flip comes back up towards Captain Jack. He jumps away, but Wound picks up the kill.
Flipping amazing there. Double flips coming out to secure the kill for them, and they're going to be looking at the Dragon. And it's 6 minutes 48. It's 4-2 in kills to them. They've got that first turret down. Bottom outer turret for Blaze is definitely hurting as well. Shy actually tanking a lot of the damage here from the Dragon. He's probably going to have to leave here just before they finish this one off, but they will finish it off crucially. That is a first Dragon of the game, and it goes over to Frost. We are tied up, of course, 1-1 in this best-of-3 series, so still, sorry, best-of-5 series, I should say. So still plenty of action to come your way. Singed, you know, he got an assist for that one. He got the first blood. He started to lose that in farm, though. That's simply because he's not had the time in the lane.
He's not had the time in the lane. The giant spot being picked up by Cloud Templar because he has had the time. He's actually been in lane quite a few times, creating a number of kills. 1-0-2. Doing a grand job, and Helios, honestly, he's been chasing it. He is 1-0-1. He did create, obviously, the kill in the middle on Rapid Star and the assist of the bottom lane, but Ambition now actually being pressured very nicely by Rapid Star, so looks possibly a very good counter to that Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix, of course, was clicked in, secured early on, has been a prevalent champion throughout the weekend. A lot of top-profile players making sure they use Kha'Zix, despite the fact he has been balanced out and has still managed to be selected, and they seem to find a way to play them. You know, this is what happens, though. I mean, this is how the top players do it. This is how they get those advantages. They find the ways to just make the champions work for them.
And Frost aren't even doing anything new here. This is what we see from them so very often. take the turret, move into a different lane, take the turret, move into the next lane, take the turret, and do that all day till you win.
It's standard Korean setup. It's the standard Korean meta, and you know this is what they've been doing, but they do it so well. That's the problem. So why change? And there's no one really that's come around other than maybe the couple of challenges from Gambit that have basically said, no, actually, you're wrong. This is the way to do it. But it seems to be working again. They've just refined the tactic.
Yeah, working out nicely for them. 2,200 gold lead is what Frost currently have here over Blaze. You can see the individual gold there. Singe 500 ahead, despite being despite having only half the CS of Elise.
Yeah.
In the middle lane.
The teleport would have definitely separated that. Oh, Helios is going to collapse on towards Shy.
Let's see if they can pull this one off, though. There's the cocoon, will land on towards Shy. He's going to have Ghost up here any second. Ghost will get popped. His ultimate is already running. It's going to be hard to track down. The repel comes in, but Shy is running. He's going to get away with that one, and that gives the time for Volibear and Lux to have come in around here as well.
He tried to bait them back as well. You could see he was like, no, really, you might catch me, because, of course, Cloud Templar and Rapid Star were coming up there. Can he manage to land that max range snipe on towards Flame? It doesn't look like it. He's going to back off. Ambition had called it, and Wound coming in towards the mid lane now. Captain Jack pressuring on towards the bottom turret, of course, did go down while that was all happening. So now it's 2.3 thousand gold difference. 2.3K is the word I'm after. Difference. 10 minutes gone in towards this game. It's just complete roles reverse once again. It's all about the blue side for the Koreans.
Seems to be that way today, that's for sure. We are seeing Rapid Star move into that middle lane here as well. Obviously, Captain Jack.
Oh, he's coming around the back.
Over there. The bear is going to be coming. Are they going to be able to get in there for the flip? Who's the target? No one's the target. They just scared them off with that sheer presence of the big bear.
Well, he has got the bear necessities in that mid lane, and he does manage to pick up the kill. Ambition, though, back on towards the bottom. He talks about this in the setup, and in fact that they were talking about that every time they do push something, where's Ambition? He's down the bottom farming, so he's trying to keep up, and he's actually out farming that Rapid Star in that mid lane, but that is the 3 outer turrets now taken down by Blaze.
Bare necessities.
Yep.
Got that one in as well. So, what's the next move here from Blaze? It's a difficult decision, I think, for them to say, okay, this is definitely what we need to do here, because they've got no outer turrets left. What we've generally seen is those turrets on the outer ring go down, then the wards start to come in the jungle. They take as much away of the jungle as they can get, and then just, you know, with the help of that Singe, push a lane out here, and then have 4 men in the other side, split pushing it through until they can get that opening. And I can't really see any difference here from Frost. I think they're going to keep going. That one is down in the bottom. We have seen Shite just flipping Ambition over. Are they going to come down, collapsing on him here? There is the slow. The laser actually will connect there onto Ambition. He's going to jump over the top, though, and he will be getting away with his life from that one. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Elise did push down towards the turret, but they got there to cover it off before she could do much damage.
Yeah, we also saw Lustboy was heading down there, and they thought about turning around trying to catch on towards him, but Flame has been farming very well at the top, and as you mentioned, like 80 CS to 45 CS is a big, big difference. But you can see the gold. It doesn't matter, because Shy is ahead. He has that one initial kill, the first blood, in fact, and that another, and, well, the turrets as well. That's a big, big difference, because that's a good split of gold, around about 450, I think, per champion with those 3 turrets gone down. It's a basic math for you, but Shy running that ultimate out. He's just going to go back and probably go back and buy in the base there. So maybe he's forced out that wave. Are they going to maybe try and force any objectives? Not really a great deal they can go with, because they've already taken the outer turrets. Dragon is up in 40 seconds, though, so maybe he's just going to run back to base. No, he's going to take away the golems.
Yeah, one thing that we didn't really talk about is the whole health regen that they're going to have going on in these fights with that Volibear passive in there and the Singe ultimate running as well. Like, they think that they're low, but actually they're staying pretty decently healthy through those fights. So it's going to give them a lot of staying power to get those flips off when they get into those team fights. So what's coming up here next? Obviously, Dragon is available in 15 seconds time. First one was taken by Frost. Well, Blaze seems to be a little bit more prepared for this one, as Helios is caught. Will get away with it, but maybe that's enough here. Helios down to half.
That's a really early Oracle from Mad Life once again. We've seen this a number of times, and again, they're going to come around. Dragon just spawns in time, and they are going to try and start this one off. So Frost trying to keep the advantages flowing. As we see Blaze trying to get that wards out, trying to get the vision down. Madlife will catch it. And Lustboy trying to taunt him. He gets flipped in towards him. Is it the right person? Has he got his crescendo available? Will he go flash aggressive on this one? Dragon does get taken down. It was Cloud Templar that caught it, but there's going to be the crescendo just at the right time. We do see the final spark managing to land. Helios does get dropped though. Madlife gets taken down, and that was a lot of kills going towards Blaze. And that was a good turnaround, 3 for 1, but the Dragon was picked up, and now Rapid Star gets the poke down and keeps them at bay. And while all that happened, Shy was in mid, just farming, chilling.
Just chilling with his Singed, not wanting to get really involved with that one, so maybe next time around. Who knows? He's currently obviously 1-0-1. Obviously, I guess his team will probably said, we've got this one, we'll be fine with that, don't worry about it. But they did get the Dragon in it. Obviously, they lost a couple of kills for the pleasure, but they still hold this 2,000 gold lead. A Shy in the top lane. He's going to be maybe chased down here by Flame. Bottom turret was taken back, and Shy just ran away from Flame. Not too many problems he had with that one.
Well, that same could be said for Rapid Star as he resets the blue buff. Ambush will take down his own blood buff, and Rapid Star will eventually get his. He's having to have another go at it. You can see he's working hard. He's got no mana left anymore. He's just trying to poke on it. It's a slow, steady battle, Rapid Star. You will win it, don't worry. So, we saw a very early play to the Rune King coming out from Woong as well. That was around about the 12.5-minute mark. Managed to complete that one. Looking like potentially an Infinity Edge, but I guess it's going to be a bloodthirst of Captain Jack and then a last whisper maybe to go with it. As it was, he went for a little bit more damage first. Shy's going to wipe out that wave in top. Just keeps on stacking that tier of the Goddess, slowly but surely. Of course, Rod of the Ages will come out for him in a wee while, but as it is, we do see a GP 510 item being picked up by Flame there. So he went with the Cage's lucky pick, or the pick of destiny, whichever you prefer to refer to it as. And they've got to be careful they don't let Captain Jack just farm his way to victory here, because he's down that bottom lane and he's keeping the wave clears going while Woong tries to help his team to get the objectives.
Yeah, big wave coming through middle lane here as well, and as you mentioned, the supports here with those early oracles on. Lustboy almost forced to buy one after Madlife had done it to counteract the clearing that they were having in that area. Madlife actually did just get himself a chance. There's Cloud Templar going to go running in towards Helios. Can he get him? Yep, will flip him over, but the rest of plays actually reacting to this one nicely. Brilliant crescendo from Lustboy. There's the wild growth on towards Cloud Templar. Can they chase down and finish him off? Helios going very, very low. Woong and team are going to have to get away because Ambition is chasing. Here comes a laser through. Rapid Star picks up the kill.
He did indeed fire the laser, and Shy now. Can he get on towards Captain Jack? Captain Jack is going to run. He's going to have his jump as well. So he will back a wall. And as it stands, Frost are going to get around this turret. Maybe he's going to take it down. I'm not too sure they've got quite the quick creep wave. As I can get my words out. Captain Jack, almost caught out. The siege minion actually stopping and blocking that light binding. The second one coming through on the first minion as well. Does mean that they will pick away. And Cloud Templar is just going to growl and run off.
Yeah, and a bit of health to spend, a bit of gold to spend here as well on Singed. He's up to around about 1,000 at this point. The support's still clearing out these wards as Rapid Star is going to come across. He's taking a lot of damage. Oh, he's flashed into the laser there in the end. I think it was Ignite that got the final tick off damage there to secure the kill, but nicely done. Good opportunity taken from Rapid Star.
Well, in honor of Jarrett Kale being on the analysis desk, that was a boom headshot. Manages to catch him out there. That's his most famous moment. It wasn't him that actually said it, though, unfortunately. And he got no money for it either, which is a bit of a downside. It's a sad story that we get told every time we have a few drinks together.
Every time we buy them.
As it is, ladies and gentlemen, there is a game of League of Legends happening right here at the Intel Extreme Masters World Championships, and currently it's 3-1 in turret, 7-5 in kills, and just 2,000 gold between CJ Entus Frost and CJ Entus Blaze. It's a sister team, all Korean affair here in the grand final. And Gambit Gaming with the only European team to try to contest with it, as Flame takes a quick mystic shot to the face as soon as he works in towards that bush. And it does look like the Oracle of Madlife has really paid its dividends, I feel. And now we do see Rapid Star with that final spark, wiping out the waves every time they get close.
Yeah, utilising the ultimate, obviously it's low cooldown. Makes it perfect for that kind of thing. As Shy going to come in on towards Flame in this top lane. Actually, has pulled that CS difference right back to level 100 to 118 now. It was, I think when he was around about 50, he had half Shy. So he's really brought that back on this front. This Flame going to get caught out there. No, ward's coming down, which Mad Life will be thinking about cashing in on, which he's already done a massive amount of work with the Oracle. That has to be said as well.
Ambition going back down that bottom lane. He's going to be well out of position here, as it looks like Frost may well try and take a advantage in that mid lane. They have 4 members coming around. Can they get a siege on towards the blue buff? In fact, no. Templar's going to go in towards Ambition. Here he comes. He's going to try and scare him out. Manages to force the jump, and now the ultimate. But the ultimate's not going to have a quick cooldown. Templar can't get on, though. Life only goes down. That's going to flip him in. Can he get in there? Wild Growth was down, but he didn't manage to catch the damage down in the right spot. And Templar, despite the fact being an enormous bear, can't get the flip and throw him in the air.
Giant bear running through the jungle there. But Singe in that entire time as well, guess what? He's going to be split pushing, and he can do it even more effectively this time around because he's running that teleport. So he can just zip over the map, get with his team, and it's going to force someone from Blaze to come out there and deal with him. As Frost are just moving their way up through the Blaze jungle. There was the ward spotted, gave their position away, but they cleared it out in the end as well. Blue buff available for the taking. Blaze going to be pinging onto it, but not sure that they really want to challenge off for this one. It's going to be picked up there in the end by Woong, which
I think may have been a mistake. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that was meant to be for Rapid Star. Templar's going to go on towards Lustboy. Is he going to flip him? I was going to say, surely don't take him in towards there. Oh, and it's Shy goes in. He flips on towards Flame. Flame's going to run away, but he's running through the poison Ezreal and Mega Adhesive Glue as well. He's going to be Lustboy charging towards Templar. Gets him. Double back somersault. There's Lustboy gets thrown to glory. There is the second flip. Now the repel comes out and he goes down, but Flame manages to get a kill on towards Mad Life. There's the final spark, zapping him down. Rapid Star catching on towards there. True Shot Barrage comes rattling through. Doesn't catch on towards him, crescendo used, but Shy is back again. It's a triple back somersault for Lustboy as he goes down to Shy.
Yeah, those flips really proving mega important in these fights there. Shy, again, this just that thing about Singe, you know, he gets low, you think he's about to die, he just walks away and then comes back later on to get the slow in there and flip you back into the rest of his team. There's another flip. Templar gonna grab in Kha'Zix. He couldn't quite finish that one off. Actually, he's tanking the turret up a little bit longer than he probably wanted to there, but that's given Woong the time to bring it down to less than half health.
And you got to wonder if that blue buff would have gone on the right person. Rapid Star would have had final spark available again for that fight, but as it is, they are going to go in towards the dragon. It's going to be Woong that's going to tank it up for a short while, but Ambition and Captain Jack are here. They could manage to jump in. They're going to get spotted by the ward. Yeah, that's forced Frost away.
Yeah, Frost going back straight away from this one, but can they really afford to totally back off from this when that dragon has been started? There's Lux having a look over. Gonna have the laser. Here is the laser. It's not enough. They take it. As a True Shot Barrage came in there at the end as well, but Helios with the smite.
It was everything coming at them from every angle, and they do manage to hold it off. So Captain Jack in towards that middle turret. Woong is trying to take up that red buff, but he's got to get back and defend this turret out. He's going to take half the hit points off it already, and the turret's going to go down. Blaze with a quick reaction there, and they are just 700 gold difference now between these two teams. This is getting much, much closer for Blaze.
Yeah, Blaze doing a really good thing there, taking the dragon, getting straight into that middle lane. They knew that Frost were on that bottom side of the map and that they wouldn't be able to swing around and react to that one fast enough. Blue buff going to be given, hopefully, over towards Rapid Star this time around. Obviously, the steal earlier didn't quite work. Yeah, the poison, perfect one for stealing from me and teammates there with those buffs. And if you look at the Singe CS now, 134 to 130, so he's right back in.
Well, why do you give Shy Singe? That's the question. We'll have to see whether Blaze have a response to that one. Elise, of course, is a very good one, but Shy, again, he's going to pass the CS now, so despite being way behind in creep score, has now surpassed him, and it is continuing to pick up item after item. That Abyssal Scepter will be picked up next on Shy, and then he's going to start moving into unstoppable forms as he manages to get the shield. We do see across the board any other items coming out. Of course, the Infinity Edge was completed by Captain Jack. That Blade of the Rune King's been on Woong for a very, very long time, so this must have a large chunk of gold. Yeah, 2,000 gold. There it is. Static Shift just popped into place. And Ambition down that bottom lane is a long way out here. Rapid Star's going to push in towards that mid lane. Manages to catch Captain Jack, puts the final spark across him. And you see, again, that's going to maybe force him away from the turret. That turret down to half hit points. Ambition desperately coming back.
Yep, half of his health gone there. Ambition is going to be forced to recall here, but I'm not sure if it's going to be fast enough, to be honest. That turret has already taken a lot of damage as Rapid Star throws that E in there just to try and zone them away from the tower itself. Can they pull anyone out here? No, in the end they can't, and they defend it for now.
Yeah, Woong wasn't there, so he was down in the buy-in. Obviously, he just picked up that static shift, so he wasn't available to get in and get that major amount of damage down on towards the turret. Instead, they will farm it off, and Blaze keep hold of their inner turret for a little bit longer. Just a little peek there of Cloud Templar, seeing if he can catch on towards anyone. He's a sneaky bear, that one. Didn't quite manage to get in. No, Flame returns to the top lane as Shy goes to the bottom lane. The two split pushers keeping it going. Teleport will be back available in a short while for Shy, so that's when CJ Entus Frost are going to try and make a play.
Yeah, gonna probably go for that split push over and over and over here. As Frost just backing away down towards Dragon. They seem to have hit a little bit of a brick wall in terms of their plan. Like I said, once Singe gets rocking, rolling that teleport back up there, that's probably when we'll see some moves out of Frost. Kha'Zix is the one, it seems, at this stage, who's going to be trying to stop Singe from getting through there. But Frost closing in on towards Kha'Zix in this bottom lane. Is he going to be forced to jump here, or are they just going to simply walk in there and take themselves a turret? The wave cleared out very, very quickly. The rest of the team can't really react fast enough to this one. It's already taken a good chunk, down to half already. This could well be the first inner turret. Actually, they're going to back away.
Well, it's a wise choice by Frost, though. They did push on towards that bottom turret, realizing that Flame was just at the bottom of the lane there. Oh, Ambition caught out. Final Spark's going to come out. He's just jumped away from it. And now we do see Flame actually in that wolf area. He's thinking maybe going for this one. Blazer on the look towards it. Can they get around? Woong's going to pick up the blue buff. Now he's going to get flipped in there. Flame's in trouble. Look at the damage going down on Flame. He's going to repel away, but it's not going to be enough. He gets dropped there. And a quick arcane shift and does manage to avoid the damage. And now Rapid Star picking up that kill is going to turn and pressure back on towards that turret. They've already taken it down to just a slither of health. Shy running around. He's desperate to try and catch something out there. That combo was ready and waiting for that one to come. Shy maybe try and get a flip here. It's going to be a flip on Ambition.
There we go, two flips coming in. Woong gets blown to pieces, though, by Ambition, who then leaps away from it. Can they get the kill? Crescendo comes around the side. Ambition just in there at that side area as the laser comes through. Rapid Star is dead. They focus on towards Cloud Templar as they jump in over the top. Shy and Cloud Templar running away as fast as they can here. They're not able to follow around, and you may have heard a little woo there.
A little squeal of delight from Jarrett as the double kick comes out for Tristana. It does give them a slight glimmer of hope once again here, because they have actually passed the goal. They've got that 1,000 advantage, but now you can see Captain Jackie's 4-1-2, and they are not protecting Goon Woong enough. Honestly, he got caught on, dived on, Ambition hit and run, literally straight in there, bounced out across the trees, and he had gone. And they have a team that can do that. Flame can repel, get straight in there. Assault Battery from Helios. There's a lot of dives. Obviously, Captain Jack always has that jump available, but kind of more to just avoid those big bear paws coming at him. But as it is Captain Jack, he is so strong now with that Infinity Edge. You can see he's got the attack speed as well. Those double daggers. He's going to go back himself, get himself a Zeal. May even have enough for a Phantom Dancer.
What items have we seen on the other side there? The Seraph's Embrace obviously picked up, or the Archangel Staff, which the team was already stacked in for that one. And he also picked up the Elixir there as well, so wondering if they're going to look to make that big play in the coming moments. I mean, we're 26 minutes into this one. If we compare that to the last time where Frost were on the blue side, the game was already over by 7 minutes at this point. So they're definitely doing better this time around. Of course, Ablaze with the gold lead. Dragon coming up in 5 seconds. Flame going to be chasing off on towards Shy in this top lane as the Spider Limb just goes into the bush. Not going to get its target, but you see quite a lot of damage coming out, to be honest, from Flame onto Shy.
Well, there's a problem here, because Flame, oh, I'm saying that, he puts a heck of a lot of damage down on towards Shy, and Shy is actually forced to run away. He's going to try and see if Flame will chase, and he will not. And it is all about the dragon fight down the bottom there. And Shy, I think he's going to probably go back to base. Maybe he has got teleport if he wants to come into this one. Instead, they're going to try and steal it away. They do catch the Ambition out, manage to get the final spark across him. He's not going to be enough. Cloud Templar's going to go for Helios. He's forced to dash away. Dragon now turns and tries to tank on towards Woong, and it is going to be Blaze continuing on there. There's a burst call on towards Captain Jack. We do see Shy. He's gone back. Teleport's going to come in any moment, Joe. They're looking to try and create something here.
Yeah, Shy just walking back. If he needs to use that teleport, he will do. As long as see Dragon going very low, Frost actually picking up. Teleport coming in the back of Baron Pit as Cloud Templar went running through there towards the Kazakhs, but they're all a little bit out of position now, Blaze, but Frost not going to push in for any kills.
No, they want to realize there's a big creep wave in that bottom lane, and Frost didn't want to pursue this one. There's a lot more gold in that bottom to be picked off than probably a singular kill. We do see Rapid Star. He's going to go back and make sure he gets a good harvest on all of that gold. So, gold-wise, you can see just 600 between the two teams. CJ Entus Frost had a big lead early on. 3 turrets went down. They were getting the kills, but it wasn't to be. And Blaze are very much meeting them every step of the way when it comes to the team fights. And they've managed to claw everything back. And that's the question. Now, can they claw all of it back? Because Blaze have looked better in the team fights. It seems to me that Frost rely on a number of things to work out. They've got them double flips in there. Of course, they need Shy to be putting the troll damage down with the poison running around the entire team, trying to absorb the damage. But they're ignoring him. They're jumping past him. They've got the assault battery, the jump, the Captain Jack's rocket jump. Everything can leap past him and go straight for Wound.
Well, I think one of the hardest things is to chain 2 flips in the right direction. I mean, it's not an easy thing to coordinate. It's just like flips somewhere around there, which can, in the end, cause you to miss certain shots. So we'll see if they can get that all on the same page. Right now, Baron has a ward on top of it, just outside the pit there, which I don't know if they actually spotted that one. Madlife did just come out again, but they do go back in. Are they going to start it off? There is the ward at the back. They need to clear that one out because that's offering all the vision still here for Blaze. And Madlife goes in completely opposite direction.
They're running down
and
mid.
They still don't see it. They are going to run mid. Why not?
They're going to run mid, and suddenly Frost have realized it, and Blaze immediately reacting because they have got that singular ward just around Banana Bush, and they do manage to back out. You see the Void Spike's coming out. Shy's going to try and get it in there. There is the ultimate coming out from Captain Jack. Forces him away. Flash from Flame, and they just avoid everything. Again, the Void Spikes get down. Shy's going to get slowed down. He does eventually get the flip down. Crescendo comes out. Shy's taken very low already. Helios putting a hell of a lot of damage down, and he's going to be Cloud Templar. There's the final spark. Assault to battery on towards Cloud Templar. He's taken low. This is looking a good fight for Blaze at the moment. He's going to be 1-for-1. Surely Madlife taken down. He gets caught out by Ambition. Ambition gets the reset, jumps on towards Woong. Woong's going to try and take him down, but Woong's got a spider right up his backside, and he gets a double kill now for Ambition. Can they turn and run, change this one towards anyone? No, it's going to be a 2-for-0 for Cloud Templar, and actually tell a lie, it's going to be for Blaze. Cloud Templar didn't get a kill.
Well, one thing's for sure there, flipping Vi into, wasn't the target, no, why Vi?
Oh, he's
going to go for it, can he get the damage into it?
On him, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I tell a lie, it's
not quite.
It's not an ignite, it's just the blue buff. Leandris. That's where it is.
We'll get there in the end.
Yeah, I knew it was a flame, I didn't know which one.
Well, Lost just going to be going home here. Madlife picking up another Oracle. We've just seen that being bought by him, so really investing a lot into that one. Of course, Baron still not being attempted, but it was a nice move there in the end from Blaze just to go straight down that middle, and they chased in, they pulled the Vi out, which I still think was probably the wrong target in there.
Interesting build coming out from Ambition here. We're used to seeing, obviously, Giant's Belt stacking in there a bit of health, but he hasn't given monkeys about that. He's gone for pure damage, and that seems to be what's working for them, because if he gets onto Rapid Star or Woong or Madlife, he's just melting them, because them Qs, they're jumping on them, the Void Spikes, everything is hurting right now. Captain Jack with the Phantom Dancer now completely. Last Whisper's going to be out in a second. Honestly, I feel Blaze may well have enough here to turn this fight and really just beat Frost, because Frost seemed to be lacking in their fights. Shy yet to die, but they're just ignoring him. He's trying to run in, trying to bait them in. And actually, Cloud Templar's still not quite tanky enough. Once he gets that Runic Bulwark in there, maybe he's going to help a little bit, but I'm still not convinced.
Yeah, this next team fight is going to be absolutely crucial. Whichever way that one goes, that team will be able to either get Baron in there, get some big objectives, maybe move up through for the first inhibitor of the game, or, you know, lose that on the other hand. And that's the danger, and I think the fear that both of these teams have right now, that they're not 100% sure if they're strong enough. What we can see, though, is Captain Jack, who now has Infinity Edge, Phantom Dancer, Vamp Scepter, and a pickaxe, I guess going up towards that Last Whisper here. He is at that point now where Tristana is very dangerous.
Captain Jack kind of just stood there looking at the bear.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, are you really going to try and flip me? I don't think so. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm just going to rocket jump away again. It's got a fairly reasonable cooldown right now by the time he's going to need it again. So blue buff was picked up by Rapid Star. We see the bottom lane is being cleared out. Ambition quite clearly has that blue buff on your screen, although it is going to be cleared out in a moment. Just looking to see what he evolved there. Didn't quite catch a glimpse of his final evolve. See if he did go for the Q or the ultimate. Has been a it's different. People go for the Q or the R as the final evolve. Let's see which one he went with. Of course, it's simply a case of a little bit more damage to the single target, or simply a case of 40% damage reduction with his ultimate, and obviously 3 stealths. As it stands, it seems that Blaze are quite comfortable at holding these waves away.
Yeah, doing a good job of it here so far, but all it needs is one light binding to catch onto one of those squishier players, and they could have a big problem on their hands.
On the other side, all it requires for Blaze is a single flash crescendo, and from Lustboy, and that would be a great catch, and it's not beyond the realms of possibilities, especially between Madlife and Lustboy. They both are very much versed at doing that, and you can see, look, he's the one that's poisoned this one. Immediately everyone was maneuvering away from him.
Well, they've caught the laser on towards Captain Jack. He's less than half HP right now. Is the bear going to go on to all fours and go chasing? Nope. He's going to be backed away again. And you can just see how tense this game is, how neither team really wants to get into a full-on fight at this point.
Yeah, it is 35 minutes in, and both teams realize that an inhibitor would almost certainly go down if whoever loses the next big fight, or maybe a Baron, or maybe both. Maybe both, yeah. I don't think it's going to be quite a game ender, but it would certainly be a big ask. And honestly, not sure, you know, I still think Captain Jack is looking in a stronger position. He has that damage to just burn down the likes of Cloud Templar, and again, he has that shot, the ultimate, just to blow them away if, for example, Shy or Cloud Templar were to get close, which we saw in the last fight. They did get certainly close. Lustboy with that Oracle coming around there. Madlife's Oracle still on as well, and uses the Q, so the Baron attacks Madlife. Have a little play.
Smart. That's a third of Madlife's health gone. Meanwhile, Kha'Zix here doing that dragon all on his own. No one going to be anywhere near him, not a sniff even of that bottom side right now, as we have seen the last Whisper picked up for both Tristana and for Ezreal. Rando and Zoman finished on Singed as well. Boots of swiftness there on Sona, which I picked up a little while ago.
Know, I thought Frost were going back to maybe pick up some wards. They've got 1 ward, but technically they've got 4 wards because Madlife can put 4 down, but that's not a great deal when you look at what Blaze already have around the map and what they have on them. The vision is definitely going to be lacking for Frost here. I didn't see whether Madlife had picked up a Guardian Angel, Oracle, sorry. We haven't had vision of him just yet, so I can't see. Yes, he has gone and picked up. I think he's just reset that Oracle. Yeah. So he's just going to clear out the waves again.
36 minutes into this one. It's down in the bottom. Ambition going to jump on towards Shy.
That was a telling mark there. Ambition actually putting a fair bit of damage onto Shy in that quick burst. That's telling, and it shows that he's actually not invincible right now, despite the fact he has got that Randy and Zoman on him. And it does mean that Frost, after seeing Ambition go in there and see if they can bait anything, see if they pull anything in towards them, see if there's any vision left. Madlife checking every little bush, but Lustboy's doing just the same.
Yeah, these supports, I'd love to have a walk taken down counter right now, because I'm pretty sure it's insane in this game. I think we saw the first one around 11 minutes being picked up, as we are going to see Ambition diving in on towards Shy. He's going to pop his ultimate. Is he going to be able to get the kill here? Randuin's going to get used as well. The Ignite goes down. Oh, Shy using his Ghost there. Wow.
He thought about going back in for that one, and that's going to be a great victory for Blaze. They realise that, you know, coming into this fight, and immediately Frost are reacting to say, we've got to have to go for it right now. We're going to see a teleport coming in from Shy because he has got that ultimate burned already, and immediately they're going to turn and run towards this one. Blaze realise what's happening. They know that Shy doesn't have that Oracle, the ultimate available, and they're going to try and keep going towards him. If Cocoon comes down on towards Cloud Templar, Madlife taking down very low. Helios getting a good combo on towards him there. Assault Battery is still available, and Flame completely forcing him away. Can Helios get around? He tried to get in and get the assault battery down instead. He just forces him away. Baron already done most of the work down, and they're just going to take it away. The crescendo comes out. The Baron gets picked up. Can they chase off Finals back on towards Ambition? Shy's going to be the target. You're going to get the repel coming out from Flame there. Captain Jack's going to jump on through. Flash is on. Shy's in all sorts of trouble. He's going to get wild growth down on him, though. He will survive this fight, surely, but will he be much longer? Yes, it will, and they back away. Very good exchange between these two teams. Shows how equal they are, but it was Baron, well fought out by Blazedown. It was all because of Ambition bullying Shy in the bottom lane.
Yeah, and we're going to see this turret falling now. 4 men pushing in. Actually, the Vault Breaker just charged up there in the bottom side of that by Helios. But that's the one turret. The question really is, how many are they going to get from this Baron buff this time around? Is it going to mean that Frost are camped up inside of their base, not really able to leave? Blaze not really getting too much vision down while they've had that time in the top side of the jungle, so obviously not too concerned with that at this point. I mean, they took that last blue, there's no tower to take down really on that side outside of the base, so I guess it's not 100% dependent on that right now, but I'd say this bottom side, they need to get some more wards down if they want to keep control over Frost.
They've done a really good job at just negating every effect that Shy's had on this game. They've realized, I mean, the amount of times they must have fought each other and Singed, Shy being on Singed, they've had plenty of time to figure out tactics, how to counter it, and maybe, just maybe, you know, the fact that they started out those picks and bans, they went for Vi and Kha'Zix, they knew damn well Shy was going to go for Singed, and they picked their team comp completely around it, so they were ready and waiting, they knew exactly what to do, how to counter it. You do see he's still the leading goal between the two top players, but you can see that big gold chunk for Ambition. 14.8k on him right now, 2,000 ahead of everyone else on Frost's team, and that's a big difference because he's got so much damage. The fact that he did go for full damage items, you know, now that he's got the Bloodthirster, the Black Cleaver, the Muramana, and the Randian's Omen complete, he's going to be so tanky and just outputting so much damage. If he gets onto, say, Rapid Star or Wound, he's going to drop them in one quick wave.
Yeah, and that's the real danger they've got right now. If Lustboy gets a good crescendo off here with the Assault and Battery and with Kha'Zix, maybe even the Repel of at least coming straight in on top of him as well, they've got so much damage to single out most probably Ezreal or Lux, if we're honest in that fight there. So let's see if Blaze can push any more of an advantage home with this one. Kha'Zix has already shoved that bottom lane right up towards the inner turret. The rest of Blaze still in there. You can see that they've started to get those wards down around as much as they can. As Cloud Temple are going to come in. There's the buster shot used by Captain Jack to knock him back.
Stood around the corner, just straight away blew him backwards. I think it must be satisfying for that sort of thing to happen. As it is, Helios pushing out this top wave. There is no inner turret, remember. It's going to be straight inhibitor. They're going to push towards Ambition, continuing to just push and farm those waves out. The fact that Shy is the one that's actually being pushed in a split push lane is a little concerning for any Frost fan out there. Helios waiting to see if he can land that Assault and Battery. Remember, it does continue to tether through, so even if Woong was to get caught on and tries to arcane shift away, it's still going to chase through there. And now this bottom wave, it's going to come in towards Shy, and you can see, look at that, Captain Jack just chunks down the turret, and there's nothing that Frost could do about that.
Yeah, so good for pushing these waves down right now. And I think that's because Tristan is getting to such a scary position. I mean, Infinity Edge, Bloodthirster, Phantom Dancer, Last Whisper.
He jumps in the mid, actually hasn't gone for it towards Cloud Templar. He does manage to get the cocoon down, takes about half the hit points off him, and that means Cloud Templar's now going to go back to base. Shy catches on towards Helios. Is it the right target? Will he turn around? And you can see Woong was doubtful there. Woong wasn't sure about that because he knew that he was going to turn and put the Assault Battery back on towards him. Does mean that the turret goes down now. Shy continuing to try and keep them at bay, and I think Blaze are going to be happy with that. They've taken 2 inner turrets.
I don't think that they can really contend with that Tristana damage without just, they've got to get her out. They've got to nuke her down as soon as possible. But what have you got? You've got Singe to run in there, you've got Volibear to run in there. It's going to bust a shot you away or just jump away even to safety from that. You've got the Crescendo, which can stop those charges coming in onto you too. I'm not sure here if Frost can actually get in there and stop Captain Jack.
But in the grand scheme of things, you know, the fact is they only lost 2 inner turrets. Yeah, they had a Baron up Blaze there, and they only lost 2 inner turrets. They didn't lose an inhibitor, and they've managed to hold out fairly well. So it's not beyond the realms of possibilities that Frost could certainly clear this one out. We are 42 minutes into this game. There is an 11,000 gold advantage, but it is at 55k to 66k. 6.666 to be honest. It's the number of CJ Blaze.
What have we got in terms of the items coming down here as well? Runic Bulwark was finished off by Volibear. That's to match the one from Vi earlier on. He's also got another Giant's Belt in there, Warden's Mail, and there is a Void Staff being picked up by Elise. So, as you said earlier on, not really going that more tanky route. They just want that pure damage coming out of the Spider.
Pure damage indeed, and now that the Last Whisper has been completed by Ambition as well, he's going to just penetrate all of that armor that Shy is currently carrying. I don't know how he's going to... I don't see anyone on there that's tanky enough now to actually contest with him, because he's got the full six item build, and he's just going to be launching himself at someone, anyone, any squishiest target. Anyone's a squishy target right now to him, in fact. There is no one that's no longer squishy.
A Volibear even. He's going to be like, oh, well, I'll just go in there, try that one out, see what we can get from it. But if those resets start to change, you've got Tristan who can do that as well. It's actually Volibear going to go running into them there in the middle, was knocked straight back again by the Tristana Buster Shot. And that's the problem that they have. They can't single her out.
They can't single her out, but they may well. Buster Shot's not available this time. Captain Jack, can he get baited? Oh, they're going to catch on towards Lost Boy. He's going to... Final Spark's going to come through, and Lost Boy gets dropped. The Oracle goes down. The teleport comes in from Shy, but it doesn't matter. They're going to turn and run towards the mid lane now. Have they got enough to try and push this one through? You can see Ambition and Helios completely out of their way at the moment. They're going to have to get back to get in the inhibitor. This middle turret is already pretty low. You can see they're going to come around the side. Where are they going? Captain Jack's heading up towards the top. 3 of them in and around there. They're going to lose an inhibitor here.
No crescendo, nothing to stop them now. That crescendo's down. 35 seconds still on Lost Boy's spawn timer, and that is going to be the inhibitor. Sorry, they're going to fling Vi into the middle of them. Can they get a target here? They go for Ambition in the end. Laser comes across. Now he's going to get the kill. It's Lulu that picks that one up. Lulu does die afterwards, and they switch over on towards Wound, and you see the damage here coming out. Captain Jack going to jump over on towards Rapid Star, gets flung backwards, jumps over into the base. They turn around, finish off Cloud Templar, and Singh will be the only one to survive it.
A left and a right hook from Helios finishes the fight, and it does mean they pick up 4 for 2 there in a 3v5 fight. That's dangerous, that's scary, and it does mean that CJ Entus Blaze are just going to run straight down that mid lane. No, they're going Baron.
Yeah, going over towards Baron now. They can get this one down very quickly with that Tristana in there. Just want to have a look at the attack speed while she's got the... I mean, it's sat on 1.5 at the minute, 2.1 when she's got a Q on, so that's a lot of damage very, very quickly coming out of Tristana. There's that Zeke's Herald as well, which we didn't really touch on, that was built a little bit earlier on by Sona. Shy here just farming bottom lane now, pushed halfway up towards the river, getting that farming while they come in through the middle lane and kill all the stuff.
Look at that, down, and that's purely Captain Jack just melting the turret. And obviously, Shy realizing they can't do anything about it, so both teams accepting the fact that they are going to lose that inhibitor turret. There's the True Shot Barrage rattling through. We do also see Flame on towards his top turret, but Shy's not going to allow him to have that one, and it is going to be one singular turret. Actually, no, he's going to go towards Flame. Can he get the fling? He will do. He flings him in towards the rest of his team. The Final Spark comes out, and he repels away from it. He's going to drop back down. He will go down, and that is a kill, a vital kill possibly for Flame there. Remember, Blaze do have that Baron buff, so they're all going to go back. They have time. They've still got 3.5 minutes left on that Baron buff, so they could have all got back, regrouped, and pushed for another inhibitor turret. That may well give Frost a time limit that they desperately need, and you can see they're actually running for it.
Now, Tristana, 3,000 gold to spend there as well, as there is the Banshee's Veil. So that's the direction that he decided to go in. There's double Randuin's Omen. There's another Giant's Belt picked up by Vi as well. But can they stop Frost coming in and having that inhibitor away? To be honest, from what we saw of that last fight without the crescendo, let's not forget, the last fight without the crescendo factored in there as well. I think with it, they could just wipe the floor with Frost if they're not careful.
If that light binding catches on to anyone, and Captain Jack, like, more importantly, he needs that punches of our pots, but it does respawn pretty quick. That's why they're throwing out. Cloud Templar, that Ambition are going to fling in towards it. Are they going to be able to have the damage down and towards him? Helios immediately. Assault battery on Woong. Woong is just getting dropped. He can't do anything about this one. They're throwing the shields. They're throwing everything towards him, but they're just going to turn, and Madlife gets melted down. Shy now, you can see the damage coming out there. They're just pouncing left, right, center. Shy is going to get flung around. It's a triple kill for Ambition as they all multiple synced jump towards Rapid Star. They're going to have the jump back up in a moment. Rapid Star's going to have to land the life binding of his life to manage to survive this one. They all jump in. Ambition's going to have his pounce ready and waiting. Rocket Jump's going to be back up. There's one, there's two. They get on towards him. There's going to be Helios coming leaping towards it. Ambition will finish him off. It's going to be the ace. It will eventually come out. There it is. And now they're going to go straight towards the Nexus turrets. They have enough tank, and Ambition, well, along with Captain Jack, will be able to just chunk down these turrets. And it's going to be CJ Entus Blaze taking game 2, despite the fact there are 3 turrets down. A fantastic performance of Blaze, proving